Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all staying safe and I hope you can see the screen and hear us loud and clear. I'm Jana and I would like to thank you all for attending our third webinar on SAP Build, Series 3 of 3, SAP Word Zone. First, I'd like to make a few announcements. Kindly note that this session is being recorded and will be published on our YouTube channel. Second, the Q&A mode has been enabled and you should be able to see a question icon on the bottom right corner when you drag the side menu bar. Feel free to press the icon and type any question during the session and we will answer them at the very end. The agenda for today is as follows. First, we'll be talking about who we are, followed by SAP BTP solution presentation, which will be led by our pre-sales and projects director, Mr. Ajay. Then we will be showcasing the solution in action, which will be covered by our products and solution lead, Mr. Vinod. And finally, we will have a Q&A session to answer all your questions. Before we dive into presentation, I wanted to quickly share with you about Inflection. We are an SAP Gold, Cell, Run, Build, Cloud ALM, and PCE certified partner for the MENA region. We have offices in UAE, in Lebanon, in Oman, and an offshore development center in India. We are in business for more than 15 years and have helped successfully deliver more than 250 projects. We were able to provide quality service to our growing 10,000 SAP licensed users through our family of around 100 plus experts, out of which 97% are SAP certified with combined 950 years of SAP solution expertise. I'm proud to say that we've been awarded the SAP EMEA South Partner Excellence Award for the marketing and the go-to-market best practices. This award is presented by SAP to the top performing partners in the Middle East, in Africa, and in Europe who have made outstanding contributions in driving digital transformation for businesses. In conjunction to the Excellence Award, our team won the hackathon as the first runner-up in the Hack to Build, which was organized by SAP for SAP Build for the EMEA South region. We are a cloud-first company, and with our highly experienced and certified team of consultants, we are committed to helping companies become the best-run businesses on the cloud. Being an SAP-focused solutions provider, we offer enterprise resource planning, line of business, business process intelligence, and technology solutions across multiple geographies and industries, resulting in improved operational efficiency, raised productivity, enhanced customer experience, increased profits, and ultimately, growth. Our team of consultants not only provides implementation and rollout services, but can also migrate and upgrade your existing solution. We can help you extend or integrate with SAP or third-party systems as well. With all these, we serve as your single window provider for your digital transformation journey. Now that's about Inflection and its expertise in a snap. Now please let me hand it over to Mr. Ajay Prasad.
Thank you, Jana. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody who's joined us today on this webinar. It's a pleasure to host you as usual. Today's topic is going to be part 3 of the series that we've been running over the period of the last couple of weeks. And this would be the last session on the Business Technology Platform webinar that we're hosting for you today. So what's SAP Business Technology Platform? According to SAP, it's the foundation of the intelligent sustainable enterprise, which essentially becomes the platform on which SAP is building its technology stack. Around it is the human capital management, the spend management, and customer relationship management solutions, which SAP has developed over the period of years. And those are again covered by the ecosystem solutions, where partners like ourselves have built and extended solutions on SAP Business Technology Platform. So SAP Business Technology Platform is a platform as a service. It helps create personalized experiences that instantly work with SAP applications. It helps you build faster with business context to meet the change with agility and to run with the confidence as a trusted enterprise-grade platform. The 3 key elements, what you would require in order to be able to extend your solution or build a new solution on. SAP Business Technology Platform cloud capabilities are divided into five main categories, starting with application development, process automation, integration suite, as well as data and analytics, and finally, artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. Now, these are the five main pillars under which there are multiple applications and services that SAP provides in order for us to be able to build and deploy applications. As part of one of as part of these three application suites, we have SAP Build, which is what we are going to be talking about. Apart from that, in terms of security and compliance, since these are again managed and hosted in SAP data centers with the highest level of certifications and securities are applied, it's open and flexible in terms of being able to work with SAP and non-SAP platforms. And because of its flexibility, we are able to then build multiple applications which are native to SAP or non-SAP applications as well. The unified and simplified way of deploying and managing the application using the SAP BTP cockpit ensures that administration is taken care of. We have a broad ecosystem of partners, including ourselves, who develop these solutions on SAP Business Technology Platform, as well as the industry cloud solutions from SAP are developed on the Business Technology Platform. It's an enterprise grade platform as a service which allows you to start small and scale as big as you want, and majority of its applications are business centric in order to ensure that your business becomes an intelligent enterprise. So moving on to SAP Build. SAP Build is a solution offering from SAP on SAP Business Technology Platform, which consists of three major applications or three major components. Starting with Build Apps, which is essentially meant to create apps. We have the Automate process with SAP Build Process Automation, and we have the design business websites with SAP Build Workzone, which is what we will be showcasing in our subsequent session today. We have already seen how SAP Build Apps was developed and can be used extensively in developing and rolling out web-based and mobile-based solutions in our first webinar series, where my colleague Vinod was able to show you how we could quickly create an application where we could make a service request going into the system. From a build automation perspective, we are able to now, in the second series of our webinar, we are able to showcase how build automation process, we were able to use robotic process automation in order to be able to build a bot which was able to read from a file and upload the data within the SAP S/4HANA system in order to provide complete automation without the intervention of a human as well. And apart from that, were also able to showcase certain other features and functionalities that were there as part of the second series of our webinar. So again, moving on to SAP Build Apps, which is a visual tool which helps you design and beautify interfaces with no coding effort, and you can create data models and business logics visually in order to be able to run and deploy your applications at very quick time without the need of having any IT background or IT requirement or skill sets within your organization. The Automate process is again a visual tool where you are able to visually drag and drop tools and build various applications and extensions that are required, including the automation process that we spoke about, where we are talking about the robotic process automation and the artificial intelligence capabilities like reading or scanning documents and uploading them into the system. Again, this is a tool which has a user interface or a development interface which is on the cloud and can be accessed using the SAP Business Technology Platform again, and can be deployed on your workstations from a robotic process or bot aspect of it. Then we are coming to today's session where we are talking about designing business websites which can be visually designed again and can be personalized with ease on an individual basis as well as at a company level, maximizing the team's productivity with guided experience and knowledge sharing capabilities. The business world, the SAP Build Work Zone is essentially a portal which allows you to be able to create intranet applications and also bring along multiple SAP applications onto the same platform, so the user does not have to navigate between multiple applications when they are trying to access or work with the applications that are deployed in their organization. It could also involve non-SAP based application integration as well. And apart from that, as you would probably see in today's demo, Vinod will also showcase how custom built applications like ours is also integratable in the same platform or into the same portal as well for access and collaboration. SAP Build Work Zone comes in two flavors, the standard as well as the advanced flavor. Vinod will give us a rundown on what are the two major differences in terms of product feature and capability. But it's a tool which can be used extensively within your organization to collaborate and to publish and to make ease of use as well. Let's move on to some real time scenarios where we can actually see how SAP Build was utilized by our customers in order to enhance their experience as well as productivity and efficiency. So we have four different personas being displayed here, and you can also see the customers who use these successfully with the help of SAP Build in order to enhance their productivity. So the first situation was with the customer support expert who wanted to build a loyalty program and wanted to optimize the customer loyalty program. So he built an application, and that increases customer participation by doubling the amount of interaction that he was able to do with the customer, and thereby ensuring that he was able to gather the data that is required and take actionable insights in order to fix the problems and enhance customer experience. We had the HR leader who wanted to improve employee experience by allowing his remote workers to be able to process the work requests, and this was done by using SAP Build application and SAP Build Work Zone, where the remote workers were able to automate the approval process, and they achieved 70% faster results in turnaround times as far as the processing was concerned. Then we have the procurement professional who needed to streamline the supplier interactions, and hence she designed a site that delivers supplier engagement and handles three times more invoices than they were able to do it. All of this is being done by citizen developers, as we call them in SAP, where there is no technical skill sets, but a professional user of the system is able to manage do and visually do all of these without the need for coding. And finally, we had the manufacturing guru on the shop floor who wanted to ship new products faster. And in order for that to happen, she found gaps and she built 10 apps to optimize the end-to-end manufacturing process and inventory management within the organization, like very simple tasks of inventory counting, inventory transfer that she could build on the mobile and handheld devices in order to be able to overcome and deliver these as well. So these are some real-time case studies that we have discussed with you. And with this, I come to the end of my presentation, and I welcome my colleague Vinod to showcase you the SAP Build Work Zone from SAP Build as part of the demo today. Vinod, over to you.
Thank you, Ajay. I'm just sharing my screen. All right. Thank you once again, Ajay. Good morning and good afternoon, all. I'm sure you managed to take some time out to go through the last two sessions on SAP Build apps and SAP Build process automation on our YouTube channel. Uh, if you haven't, please do. Let's see what we can do with SAP Build Work Zone. And before we jump into action, let's discuss briefly about what is SAP Build Work Zone. Firstly, it is a service on SAP BTP, which provides a platform to build some really cool portals. And second, SAP Build Workzone comes in two editions: Standard Edition and Advanced Edition. Standard Edition is nothing but SAP Launchpad. Nothing changed there, including the subscription plans. And Advanced Edition is nothing but SAP Workzone. Once again, there are no changes there as well. So a combination of SAP Launchpad as Standard Edition and SAP Workzone as Advanced Edition is SAP Build Workzone. So with that, let's see how we can create a simple dashboard site using SAP Build Workzone Standard Edition. As I mentioned, SAP Build Workzone is a service on SAP BTP, and therefore I'm on BTP Cockpit. So let's dive into SAP Build Workzone Standard Edition. So we are right now on SAP Build Workzone Standard Edition lobby. And on the left, we see the left menu, and we have Site Directory, Content Manager, and Channel Manager and Settings. In most cases, we go in the reverse direction, and Channel Manager being the first one. So what basically happens in Channel Manager is we get an option to add federated content. So federated content, in other words, I would call it content federation. Now, what exactly is content federation? It's about exposing business roles along with catalogs, groups, and apps from SAP products so it can be accessed on Launchpad. And once when we add it, we can pick and choose the apps from each channel. So we will see what it is. And right now, if you also notice, we have HTML5 apps. So actually, it is nothing but HTML5 application repository. It is a service on SAP BTP, which allows us to deploy the HTML5 based applications. And depending on what access has been given to the logged in user, which is myself in this case, right? So we should be able to see all the applications listed. So that's Channel Manager. This is where we start. And then moving on to Content Manager. So we have My Content and Content Explorer. So if you go to Content Explorer, you get to see all the channels that we added or the federated content that we added in the Channel Manager listed here. So we have the HTML5 apps. And the best part is when we click on one of the federated content, we get to see the contents inside it, which is the applications, catalogs, and so on and so forth. And we should be able to pick and choose what we need from here. And as soon when we do that, the selected items will get listed in the My Content area. So we will go ahead and do that. I'm just running you through the options that we have. And finally, we come to the site directory where we put everything together. So with that, I will directly jump into Content Manager, because in Channel Manager we have HTML5 apps and we'll be using this. And in Content Manager, I will go to Content Explorer, go to HTML5 apps, and I will select my inbox here. And if you notice on the right hand top, we have Add to My Content. Click on this. That's about it. So in My Content, I have my inbox listed here, and I should be able to use it in my sites, rather the workspaces that we're going to build, right? So that's one. And second thing is, being in Content Manager, I should be able to add certain components, which are applications, catalog, group, and role. So what each one means is, an application is basically a URL based application if it is not coming from Channel Manager, right? So we will see how that is done. A catalog is nothing but a grouping which can also provide search feature in Find My Apps. And group is what we do is when we log into any of the SAP products, specifically the ERP related products like S4HANA Cloud or by design, SAP by design, and so on, we get to see a dashboard, and the dashboard has groups there, and that's these groups. And finally the roles. The roles define which application goes into which role and who user can access those applications. So these are the four components that we are allowed to create being in Content Manager. So by default, I will go ahead and create some groups. So my first group is going to be my applications, or maybe I'll call it Inflection applications. Sorry. And we can give a description here. And we'll come back here and add the applications, when we have them ready. So for now, I'll just click on the save button. Going back, so we have Inflection applications, and I'll add another group, and this is going to be SAP products. Or specifically, I'll be accessing S4HANA. We can either call it SAP products or SAP S4HANA, or anything that you want to, really mention in specific, right? I'll go ahead and click on the save button. So we have created two groups, Inflection applications and SAP products. And what we'll be doing here is, if you noticed during our previous webinars, we created an application called Tenant Zone using SAP Build apps. And we also automated the approval process of the service request using SAP Build process automation. Right, so we will be adding Tenant Zone as an application, to our Launchpad. At the same time, I will also be adding a link to S4 HANA Cloud, where we can see the new request that we create using Tenant Zone. That's what we'll be doing now. So we already have the inbox for the approval. I'll go ahead and add the other two, which is the Tenant Zone and the S4 HANA managed services. So I'll click on New. I'll click on App. This I'll call it Tenant Zone. That's my application. And here, if you notice, we can give a description. Yes, an ID is automatically generated. Open app in a new tab or in place. What it means is, when we click on the tile, once when the site is ready and when we click on the tile, you can either open it in a new tab or it'll open on the same window. I'll choose in a new tab. It's more comfortable. And here what happens is, system and application UI technology. So if it is federated content, right, so we need to specifically mention from where the content is coming from. And these are, some of the configured destinations that we have in SAP BTP. We can choose them because it is going to be an URL application that I'll be setting up. So we don't need to set this up right away, right? So I'll go ahead and get the URL for the Tenant Zone application. And there we go. And we can give some parameters, the name and the value, and this will be added, uh, and then additional information. So I'm going to keep it very simple. So I've added a title here, and I have chosen open the application in a new tab. I've not selected system and application UI technology. It's more related to the federated content. I've given a URL, and I'm going to click on the save button here. Now what happens, it is taking me to the next tab, which is the navigation, visualization, and translation. We can do that here. So the intent, so what happens is, we basically mention what the intent of this style is going to be, and this will be used as a unique key as well, right? So this is more of a service request application. Then the action is, uh, you know, capture details, or I'll call it as getting an approval as well. So that's going to be the combination. And then visualization. How do you want the tile to look like? So this is the preview of the tile. So we have the static app launcher, and we have the dynamic app launcher option here, right? What a dynamic app launcher does is, say for example, when we add inbox, right, and if there are any emails coming to our inbox, there will be a number that is displayed, and the number will be dynamically set. But in this case, we don't have anything like that. We just wanted a tile. Click on that, it takes us to the application. So I'll choose static application launcher here, and the size is going to be one by one. And this is the title, which is already given, and the subtitle, I can just mention it as saying Tenant Zone with a space, and information is service requests, right? And we can choose an icon. Click on OK. And next comes the supported devices. We have desktop, tablet, and mobile. What it means is, I think desktop and tablet is pretty straightforward, but mobile, every website that we're going to add, right? Yes, we will go ahead and take a detailed look at it. But right now, when we select mobile, we should be able to access this application via mobile device. We will be provided an option to install the application and access this application on mobile as well. So I'm keeping all the options selected. I'll click on the save button. And there we go. We have the tenant zone application added already, and it is listed in Content Manager, My Content. And one last thing that I'll be doing is add another application, and this is to access the service request that we're going to create using tenant zone. So this, I'll call it my service, or maybe SAP service request. Once again, I'll choose in a new tab, and we don't need these two. And I'll take the URL, which is the for the managed services, and go to navigation. This will be service request and visualization. I'll leave the information. I'll click on the tile, and we can choose a service request here. And once again, we have the desktop, tablet, and mobile. So I'll go ahead and click on the save button. So we are almost there. We have the inbox added. We have SAP service request. We have tenant zone, and we have two groups: SAP products and Inflection applications. Right. So one last thing is we have these groups, but these groups does not have any applications added to them. So I'll go ahead and add them now. So Inflection applications. I'll click on the edit button, and just when I click on the search box here, I get to see all the applications listed. So what I'll do is I'll add tenant zone because that's one of the Inflection applications that we created. Click on plus, and I'll click on the save button. I'll go back. I'll go to SAP products, click on edit once again. And this time I will be adding my inbox and SAP service request into SAP products. So click on save once again here. So that's that. So we now have added the applications, we added the groups, and we have added the applications into the groups. And one final thing is we need to add these applications to the roles, because purely based on the logged in user, these applications will be listed in the respective sites. So what we can do is when we add new roles, these roles will be mapped to the business roles, depending on the contract federation. So for now, I'm going to use the everyone role here, and I'll click on edit and go ahead and add the applications. I will add them all. So we have my inbox, we have SAP service request and tenant zone, all the applications added. I'll click on the save button. So we have all the components ready. It's just that we'll have to create a site and see our new site in action. So I'm in site directory. Like I mentioned, we were in channel manager, then we moved to content manager, and now finally I'm in site directory. I'll click on create site. I'll give a name, dashboard. Click on create, and there you go. In fact, the site is already created. So these are the different settings that we have, that we can leverage to work on what we can do, how we can play around with it, and so on. I'll just quickly run you through what these options are. So in the general section, we have the name, description, ID. We have the URL. We can use this URL to launch the site. And coming down, we have the browser settings. Optimize site loading. Basically what it tells you is it provides a caching option. So if you want to improve the performance of this site, instead of waiting for the site to be loaded every single time, we can enable this option, and it is going to load from the cache. Which also brings in a concern where if there is any changes, we'll have to clear the cache and load the site. Right. So that's that. Asynchronous module loading. As we all know, if the content of a website is more, and if the website is loaded in a sequential fashion, it automatically takes a lot of time to load the website. Instead, when we choose asynchronous module loading, the skeleton of the website will be loading in the background, and in parallel, we will have all the other tiles also getting loaded asynchronously. So the time taken will be the most minimum. And then comes the browser feature access. So when we select yes, this is going to open up the options to use the mics and the camera on the computer from where the website will be launched. So that's that. And the session timeout, log out all sessions on timeout, right? So when there is a timeout, it is going to log you out completely. And duration is going to 20 minutes. And alert before timeout is going to be 3, which is going to tell us what kind of notification has to be sent. So that's that. And coming to user capabilities, personalization. And by the way, I would like to also show there is an option here which says, uh, sorry about that. There's an option here which says SAP Companion, right? So if you click on the question mark on the right hand top corner, right, and if you notice, we have this about this website and assignments and so on, and so we can leverage that to take a look at it. At the same time, we also have the eye icon here, which is going to give us more information about what this particular option is. Right. I'm mentioning this because we also have an option to enable SAP Companion for the service or the website that we're going to create. So what this really means is, if there is any standard SAP components that we are using, the SAP Companion will be automatically enabled, and this is going to provide us options where we can get a quick help. Right. I jumped into SAP Companion because it's like super interesting for me. When I found this, I was like, wow, this is really good. So similarly, I was talking about personalization. So clicking on personalization, what happens is there is this option to find the applications or the tiles that we have on the website, and we can use the app finder. That's what it says. Selecting yes ensures that the app finder and edit homepage options are visible in the user actions menu. We'll see that. And theme selections, language selections are more of a user profile options. And this is the start mobile SAP mobile start that I was talking about. So what this does is, when we say yes, right, so and when we launch the website, in the user profile section, we will be provide we'll be given an option where we can start or we can access this website through mobile. So what basically happens is, when we say yes and when we go to the user profile and click on SAP mobile start, it's going to give us a QR code. And using our mobile device, when you scan the QR code, we'll get a URL. And when we go to the URL, it's going to install the basic SAP application, and it will provide us an option to view this website and use the tiles, use the options to basically do our work, everyday work. And then comes the enterprise search. Enterprise search is basically, what happens is, the tiles that we have are nothing but, end of the day, one of the products that either we have developed or SAP products. And when we enable this and when we make a search, when we make a common search, which is part of the SAP launchpad website, right, so this is going to directly take us to the actual content of the web page and give us all the search results there. And recent and future frequent activities. So this is basically going to keep a track of saying what actions that we took, and if we have to go back there. And then comes the group display mode. The group is what we just created, right? The two groups that we created. Inflection application is one of the groups, and SAP products is another group. And what do you want to do with this? Then comes key user adaptation. So this is once again something to do with the user permissions, right? So there are the special privileges where the user gets to search the application depending on what access he or she has. We spoke about SAP Companion. This is super cool. And then comes the display. These are some of the app options that we get to display, to play around with the display, right? The view mode is going to be groups. The tile size is going to be responsive, which means responsive is when we change the size of the website itself, either intentionally or depending on the device that we access the website from, it is going to be responsive. It is going to be automatically aligned. And display on the screen. Search in shell header. Shell header is, we will get a search bar on the menu bar in the website. Then show notifications, all my applications. Basically what happens is, we want to display all the applications here, or we can pick and choose and select where to display. Now app finder, like I mentioned, app finder is an option where it provides you a filtered option for you to find the application that you're looking for and where do you want it. We have selected it as, or by default it is put in user actions menu, which is going to be the user profile icon here on the website. And then edit homepage. Once when we create this website, Once again, the end user will be given an option to edit the tiles there, depending on how they want it, and that's very user specific. And settings, where do we want to display the settings? And these are some of the options that we have, right? So with that, we have created a dashboard, and now what happens is, if we have, oh sorry, if we have specific roles created, and the applications and groups added to that particular role, we should be able to see those roles listed here. But since we're using everyone, it is by default given access to all the dashboard, all the sites that we create. So that is what is on the right hand side here, the assignment section. I'll click on the cancel button, go back to site, and either we can use the URL that I showed on the settings screen, or we can use this icon here, which is go to site. Click on it, and there we go. So we have the site created. These are the tiles that we added. This is the tenant zone application under Inflection applications. And SAP products, we have inbox, which is my inbox, and SAP services. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with these tiles. And by the way, if you notice, I probably took a lot of time in explaining what each options are, but otherwise putting together a site should not take more than 10 minutes, right? Yes, I understand, for us to get the federated content, it might take some settings there, right? But otherwise, when you have the components ready, putting the site together, it's a cakewalk, right? So I'll go ahead and click on tenant zone. This is going to open the tenant zone application on another tab, because that is what we selected there. So there we go. We have the application, and it's a mobile app. So I'll go ahead and create a new service request. I'll select the category furniture, and broken chair, right? And I'll click on the submit my request. All right, the transaction was created successfully. I'll navigate to my requests, and these are some of the requests that I've created in the past. So I'll come to the bottom. So there you go. This 600 ending with 61 is the new request that I've created. I'll open this request. So that's basically it. So we have created a new request. We'll go ahead and see what happens with the approval. If you notice, I did not do anything under SAP products. In my inbox, we have one updated. So this is basically the dynamic side of adding the tiles. So I'll go ahead and click on my inbox, and this is going to give me one approval item. So approval, and please approve, and my ID is 61. So that's what we just created, right? I click on the approve button here, and the approval request is taken up. Having seen how the applications are built and managed, we can even go into the SAP Build lobby, and take a look at to see if the service that we started has gone through successfully. So I am in the monitor section. I'm in process and workflow, and I think it's completed. I will select the completed from the filter. Yeah, so this is the one. And if you notice the time, it's 1:08, right? So that's what we just created, and the instance is completed successfully, right? So everything has gone through well. And the final thing that I wanted to show is, oh, sorry. So inbox has opened in place, right? So I will go back. And now SAP service request. This is where we will get to see our new request that we created. Oops. I think I'll sign out and sign in. Just give me 1 second, please. Sorry, I have to explicitly sign out. Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and access uh, S4 HANA to see if it is proper. So this is one concern that we can handle if we are using uh, the federated content, because as part of you have followed an invalid link. There seems to be something wrong. So this is what we can avoid if we are using federated content, because what happens with the content federation is we will have a handshake between the Launchpad application and the SAP product application, wherein we can use the single sign-on like how we use for My Inbox and Tenant Zone, and we should be able to access the application. But since we added it as a URL, so it is going to request us to log into the application. That's what is happening. There seems to be something wrong with the the authentication. I am trying it in a different way. I'm just trying to show the new request that we created. I'm almost there. And if you notice, so this is the request that we created, right? Ending with 61. And there you go. So that's that. So coming back to our Launchpad application, so what we did is we came here, we understood what the left links are. We went and added the necessary contents in the the content manager. We have my content and content explorer. We saw all these options. Then we went to site directory. We created a new site, and we saw what the settings are, what options are available in the settings. We also launched the website, and we were able to create a new request, approve the request, and take a look at the request on SAP S/4HANA. So I hope it was interesting, and thank you for being with me. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Vinod, for the quick demo and on the details of SAP Build Work Zone. Now we have a quick survey that we would like to publish. So I believe you should be able to see a survey. Your participation is appreciated. We also have the Q&A session open, so please feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A mode. We'd be happy to answer them for you. We see some answers coming in. We would be happy to answer any questions that you have before we end the webinar for today. Thank you for your participation. Let me quickly share the results. So, any questions before we end today's session? Thank you everybody for joining in, and it was a pleasure hosting you today. I hope you were able to get value from the discussions as well as the presentations that we did, and we look forward to you joining in our next webinar. Have a good day.